All right, welcome. Today, we are going to tackle one of the biggest roadblocks to, well, just about anything you want to achieve, confidence. And we're going to do it by fusing the wisdom of Oprah Winfrey with the no-nonsense strategy of business powerhouse Leila Hormozi. Together, we're going to build a blueprint that shows you how to forge real, unshakable confidence, the kind that isn't just a feeling, but something you actually earn.
So let me just ask you this. Have you ever told yourself, oh, I'll do that big thing when I feel ready, or maybe I just need a little more confidence first? Yeah, if that sounds familiar, you are definitely not alone. So many of us are just standing on the sidelines of our own lives waiting for this lightning bolt of confidence to strike before we finally go chase that bigger dream. But what if we've been looking at it completely backwards this whole time?
And this leads us right into something we can call the confidence paradox. It's this trap we all fall into, believing that confidence is a prerequisite for taking action. But the truth, and this is the core of our entire blueprint today, is that genuine confidence isn't the starting line. No way. It's the trophy you get after you've run the race. You don't get it before you start, you earn it, step by messy step.
Okay, so where do we even begin? Well, we start with our why. Before we get into the how, we need a North Star to guide us. And this is the first half of our blueprint, an idea that comes straight from Oprah Winfrey, who totally transformed her life and her work by focusing on one single, powerful concept: intention.
This quote, it just reveals such a massive shift in perspective, right? Oprah realized that the energy behind an action matters so much more than the action itself. Think about it. Are you doing something just to be seen, or are you doing it to actually serve a purpose? That one little distinction, it changes the entire game.
And you can see that exact shift she made right here. The focus moved away from all that fighting for attention and competing, and it moved towards serving a mission. By asking what is our intention before every single show, the goal completely changed. It became about uplifting and enlightening the audience. And here's the real key. When your action is tied to a mission that's bigger than you, it gives you the fuel to keep moving forward, especially when that fear starts to creep.
Okay, so intention is our North Star. That gives us our direction. But how do we actually get the engine running to move toward it? This is where the second half of our blueprint comes in, and it's from Leila Hormozi. She argues that we've been thinking about confidence all wrong. It's not an input, it's an output. It's the exhaust, not the fuel.
So just look at this cycle. The myth we're all told, the one on top, is first you feel confident, then you take action, and then you get results. But the reality is the total opposite. You have to take action first, even if it's messy, imperfect action, to build real, tangible evidence for your brain. That evidence is what manufactures the feeling of confidence.
And this is exactly why just writing "I am confident" on a sticky note and putting it on your mirror 100 times, it usually falls flat. It doesn't actually change your core belief system, because your brain is a logic engine. It doesn't respond to wishful thinking. It responds to proof. It needs to see the receipts. It needs to see you do the thing to finally believe you can do the thing.
So how do we start collecting that proof? How do we get our brain the receipts it's demanding? This brings us to the really practical part of the blueprint, the toolkit. Leila Hormozi gives us a way to build this evidence brick by brick until we have this solid foundation of self-belief. Now, this toolkit has 3 really simple, but honestly profound components. We're going to track data, not our feelings. We're going to start so ridiculously small that it's almost impossible to fail. And, maybe most importantly, we're going to learn to trust ourselves again by actually keeping the promises we make to ourselves.
First up, track the truth, not your mood. Our feelings, they're so fickle. You know how it is. You can have 5 great days and 2 kind of bad ones, and your brain will just obsess over the bad ones. That's why data is so much more powerful than dopamine. By tracking your actual progress, pages you've written, calls you've made, workouts you've actually completed, you give your brain objective evidence that it just can't argue with. It completely overrides those negative feelings. Next up, tiny tweaks. If you're trying to build a new habit, please don't start by saying you're going to go to the gym for an hour every single day. That's just a recipe for failure. Instead, start with something so small it feels almost silly. Leila tells this great story about a coach who just has his new clients make their bed every day for a week. That's it. Why? Because it's a win. It's an easy promise to keep, and it starts building that crucial evidence that says, hey, I'm someone who does what they say they're going to do.
All right, now we have to talk about the final boss in this whole game, fear. The goal is not to become fearless. That's a total myth. The goal is to act even when you're afraid.
This quote from Leila just gets right to the heart of it. Confidence isn't the absence of fear, it's the willingness to move forward with the fear. Every single confident person you've ever admired still feels fear, I promise. The only difference is they've learned not to let it sit in the driver's seat.
And that brings us to this amazing metaphor. Don't try to fight the fear or meditate it away. Instead, just acknowledge it. Say, okay, fear, I see you. You can come along for the ride. And then you put it in your purse, you put it in your pocket, and you go do the thing anyway. By just tolerating it instead of trying to battle it, you shrink its power.
So our whole blueprint really comes down to this. Your intention is your North Star, and your actions are the tiny steps you take to navigate by it. That bigger dream you have, it's waiting for you. So the only question left is, what evidence are you going to give your brain today? What's one tiny tweak, one impossibly small action you can take right now to start proving to yourself that you are capable of amazing things?